I was just thinking, now that we've got all these out here, I think I've got a few more that would actually fit down here. I'm just trying to think where they're at right now. I think I forgot my Halle Pele cannibal mug. Cannibals are cannibals goth?
Nah, they're cannibals.
Okay, cannibals are just cannibals. Unless Dahmer. Is Dahmer kind of goth?
No. No, he was just hungry. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Tiki Goth Club. Today I'm with my buddy Jason. Craig, we're up here in your house.
Apartment.
You gotta come up with a name for this place sometime, like some cool tiki name for your apartment.
I was referring to it as Mr. Lizard's Luau Lounge because it's not really a bar; it's more of a lounge area.
That works out. So we're in Mr. Lizard's Luau Lounge in Tacoma.
In sunny Tacoma, Washington.
And we're gonna kind of go on a little trip across the country and then back home again. And the thing I find interesting is that, like, I started this this Goth Tiki Club show a couple months ago, and I got the idea off of our friend Jamie because she started her Goth Tiki Facebook group.
Right.
And thinking like, wow, man, that's an original idea. That's a brand new idea. But then when the more you think about it, the more you realize it's like, I think a lot of people have been combining Goth and Tiki for a long, long time, like longer than you think. To the point where these are all mugs that are from commercial tiki bars.
So we'll start this trip down in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
So this
and
is
you're from Florida.
Originally Sarasota, Florida. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if you remember on Saturday Night Live they used to do the Goth Talk that was supposed to be set in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, really?
Yes. So yeah, high school. I remember watching those and getting a real kick out of it.
So this is from.
That's
the Gillman, right?
Yeah, well, it's a mashup between the Universal Monster, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, or Gillman, and the Fu Manchu, which started out as what we now see as very racist novels in the early 1900s by a British author with a Chinese mastermind named Fu Manchu as the villain for those books. But traditionally, there was a Fu Manchu mug and drink at tiki bars around the country.
That's true.
It was one of those mass-produced, very recognizable mugs. And so...
I have one, actually. I have the Fu Manchu mug. And that's the thing. I think some of the first tiki drinks I remember seeing were actually at Chinese restaurants.
So this guy is known as the Gillman Chu.
Let me see this.
And he was actually...
Gillman Chu.
Yes, it was designed by Doug Horn.
Oh, this is a Doug Horn.
By Doug Horn, yes.
And it's for the Aku Aku.
And take a look at the bottom. I think it was produced by Tiki Farm.
It's Tiki Farm.
Yes.
That's a nice mug. I didn't know that.
But it was actually put out in a Kickstarter, but the Kickstarter one had the hat, or kind of crownish looking hat there, was done in red and gold.
Yeah.
Whereas the one that they were actually selling at the Aku Aku that has Aku Aku on the back of it was a lot simpler, and then they had special edition ones that were available later. But this was one that was there when I was able to go through back in October.
And Jason, if you go to the Aku Aku, what drink do you got to get?
You got to get a Tiger Fucker.
You got to get a Tiger Fucker.
Which there's a Tiger Fucker mug up there too.
Yes.
But that was on another episode.
That's true. But moving from Florida.
So leaving Orlando, Florida, we're going to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the unforgettable Frankie's Tiki Room.
Oh, I love Frankie's.
Which, if you're into dark humor and macabre, well, that'll fit right in at Frankie's.
Absolutely.
So we'll start off here with the Frankie Stein.
And here's the thing, the cool thing about Frankie's Tiki mug, about Frankie's, is that they're all about the merch.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't like they just have like one or two mugs. They have like 15 mugs or something like that.
And they have editions that come and go in different glazes, and each one has its own drink as well.
Oh, really?
Or when you go there, you can say, I want this mug, but put this drink in it, and you'll get a discount on the mug and drink if you get them together.
So this what is this?
The Frankie Stein.
The Frankie Stein. So it's Frankenstein.
But he's done in kind of a rockabilly, lowbrow, classic, or what would you call it, custom culture style.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. He actually kind of reminds me of Lux Interior from the Cramps for some weird reason.
More than a bit.
But when I think of Frankie's, though,
that's the vibe for Frankie's.
I'm a big fan of. Seriously, like when I think of a tiki bar in my mind, it's like Frankie's Tiki Room.
If you go to Vegas and you like tiki and you don't stop in at Frankie's, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, but sadly, if you don't like smoking,
The trick is go in the daytime.
Yeah, or go on the off hours.
In fact, I'm quite sure that vampires could survive in there during the daytime.
They probably could.
Dark, dank, cold. So, moving along, I have a couple of different lava leches. This was the first one that I got right here.
So there's a couple different glazes of this.
Yeah.
So that's
the traditional.
So what
glaze.
is the lava lech? Is this what is
It's sort of an undead creature. A lech or a lich was a reanimated corpse of some sort.
Okay.
And then the details are a lot more obvious with the red coral glaze here.
Let me see.
Which I tend to like the glossier mugs better, but I do dig this guy. I like the way he looks, but the feel of it has kind of like a dry bone.
Oh, this
feel.
one's way better than. I love this one better.
I like the look of it, but I like the feel of that one.
You can see all the detail and all the teeth and the bony hands and everything like that. Yeah, this is a really cool mug. How much are these mugs?
I want to say they're about $25, I think. 25, maybe $30.
That's it?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
But it's
cheap.
I don't remember the exact numbers, but you can look it up on their website. They're all about the merch. So you can look it up. If you buy a drink and a mug, you get a discount. It's cheaper than if you bought them separately.
I swear to God, next time I go down there, I'm just going to clean house. So you may be asking yourself, how can I join the Tiki Goth Club? Well, there is no membership. There are no fees. But I have shirts for sale. They're $20 a piece, $5 shipping and handling. If you're interested, go to my website, tikiwithray.com. There's a prompt that says buy a shirt. Follow that, and then that's how you can get your own. And speaking of merch, but not so cheap.
Yeah.
Shameful Tiki Room.
Yeah, so heading up to Vancouver, British Columbia.
Our buddy Rod. Mm-hmm. And he's been making an anniversary mug, I think, for every year since he's been open.
Yes.
And this guy is kind of like it's his almost like the mascot of the place. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like done different things with this guy. But this year, this was 5. Now you actually see his bones, his vertebrae in the back. I guess the guy's literally falling apart.
Yes. So he is a zombie. And the first time that I ever went up to the Shameful Tiki Room, behind the bar, they'll play different things on the TVs there. And they were playing the old black and white original Night of the Living Dead, silently on those TVs the whole time that we were there. And they also have they have at least one cocktail on the menu that's themed after Night of the Living Dead.
Is it really?
Yeah. So that I would place that as an influence.
Absolutely. Well, this is...
But I thought that was a gorgeous mug.
It was beautiful. And Ekum Bookum, too.
Yes.
I'll tell you what that guy does.
Yeah, that's an Ekum Bookum design. Actually, when I got to...
Who's from Florida.
Yes. I got to meet John Mulder down in his laboratory in St. Pete, and he showed me his sketchbook, and I got to see the actual sketch of that.
Did
in
you
fact,
really?
I'll send you that picture. You might be able to include it on the video.
Yeah. His work is incredible.
Because I thought that was pretty wild, that, the roundabout way that everything connects in Tiki.
So, Rod opened up another bar up in Vancouver.
Which, if ever there was something that needed to be featured on Goth Tiki,
it would have been his bar. He I remember him talking about it.
Yes.
He goes, and he kicked it. He knocked it out of the park with the Shameful Tiki Room. That is Tiki. That's a Tiki bar. Like, I mean, when I think of a Tiki bar, that's it. Almost as much as like Frankie's. They're almost the same.
What would you call it? An early third wave bar?
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to open up another bar. I'm like, what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to make essentially like a haunted house bar. And I'm like,
a bit of a haunted mansion vibe, but with its own backstory that they created.
Yeah.
And
he literally, we saw the storefront. It was literally like a Chinese restaurant, just like a cheap, on the street Chinese restaurant, like nothing fancy at all.
Yes, it was a building that was part of a strip plaza on a normal city street.
And then he literally made this place.
So
the dark
covered
manor.
over the glass windows, put layers upon layers of detail.
And it literally looked like the living room of a Victorian living, like
right.
A Victorian home.
Everything was scaled in an odd way to make everything feel right, that you were in a much larger space that was based on a haunted Victorian era home.
It was an amazing bar, and sadly, I don't even think it lasted a year.
No, it didn't quite find its niche would be the right word, I guess.
Yeah,
because it was more on a whiskey theme.
Yeah, it was
they
all
did
whiskey
have their
drinks.
Zombie, and I think the idea was that the Shameful Tiki, it's, unless you have reservations, it's typically a 2-hour seating, and it's a waiting list to get in.
Yeah,
which is not much fun in the Vancouver winter.
No. Things just didn't work out.
But he created another beautiful, immersive environment.
He created
its own soundtrack and imagery.
And its own mug.
Yes.
Oh, and this is like, it's supposed to be like a tombstone.
Yes.
And there's a whole story with like the grandma, like the
It was a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And I believe it was the husband was believed to have been poisoned by the wife.
And this mug is incredible. It's a shame that, how many of these did he make? 100. You have 18. And
does that have the designer on the bottom? Or I'm sorry, the mug producer?
Mug Tiki.
Yes.
Great mug. And, well, the thing I hate to say this, Jason, it's just like as time goes on, when it comes to tiki bars, it's like they're just not going to be around forever. Some might be around for a couple of years. Some might be around for a couple of decades. But there's going to be a day where there's a good chance that bar might shut down. And sometimes when it comes to it, a mug is all you have left as a memory. So, and when I think about this as I'm holding this, it's like all my memories of going to the Dark Manor are like, yeah, just come right back to me. A great mug.
In fact, as we're sitting here right now, the legacy of the Maikai down in Fort Lauderdale is questionable, as far as what's going to be happening in the future.
I'll tell you what, everyone, if you...
And speaking of goth, that was one of the few places that you could actually go and see a legitimate, real shrunken head.
Yeah.
In a tank.
Yeah. I hope it works out. And bringing it back home to Tacoma.
Yes.
The Devil's Reef.
I believe that's an Ikambuka.
And this is the Infinity Skull.
Yes.
And this is a highly sought after mug.
It's very detailed and very unique.
Oh my God! And the skull just keeps on going, and keeps on going.
So as you rotate it around, you've got more skulls than eye sockets. So you've got multiple skulls sharing eye sockets there, and then details of different creatures crawling in and out.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
And different debris and flotsam and jetsam around it.
And I'll tell you what, the Devil's Reef, man. I knew it was something cool and something special when people would fly into SeaTac and come directly down to Tacoma to go to the Devil's Reef. And like I'd be there at the bar, and I live up in Seattle, and be like, oh, so you're gonna be going up to Seattle? Like, nah, we just came to come here. And it's like, fair enough, well, it's an amazing tiki bar, and
it definitely has a hint of the dark goth vibe going to it.
Yeah, this encapsulates the mood of the Devil's Reef.
Yes.
It so much does.
Pretty much dark nautical and H.P. Lovecraft inspired.
That's what I love about tiki bars, and especially home tiki bars too, is that you get to see their interests.
Yes.
Come together. I mean, I love traditional tiki bars as much as anyone else, but I also love to see when people start bringing their influences and their interests in together to make one new thing. And all these are from commercial bars. And they're all great. To me, these are all tiki mugs.
And they're very unique to the places they came from.
Yes.
In the first wave of tiki bars, it was very common to have essentially the same ceramic mugs at all the bars because there were only a couple of manufacturers. But as we got into later waves of tiki and the tiki resurgence, you had these fantastic artists coming out reinterpreting designs, places having their own unique mugs.
Yeah. So,
and Frankie's was one of the first to have a line of unique mugs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, we should definitely head down to Frankie's soon.
Yeah, I got to get back to Vegas. It's been a while.
Yeah, me too. Let's go hit the slots, Jason.